What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. As always, we got quite a couple stories to go through, so let's go ahead and get right into this. First things first, the release date for the Gargoyles Remaster was announced. This will be coming out October 19th. Because, you know, there isn't enough games coming out during that time, right? But anyway, this will be coming to the Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S and X, and PC. And similar to other remasters from recent times, you'll be able to switch between the retro graphics and the new HD graphics, which will be pretty cool. The original game was a lot of fun, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Next up, just a quick thing I wanted to highlight. Previews have gone live for Forza Motorsport, so if you want to go ahead and, you know, look at the gameplay footage or just learn more about the game, then there's tons of videos all over YouTube about that. I've heard a lot of interesting descriptions and things about this game. Apparently, it's being described as a car PG. Not sure how that works. Apparently, your car levels up as you drive. Sounds pretty interesting. I'll definitely be checking this game out. I love Forza Motorsport, and this seems like a pretty cool twist on the formula. Next up, reviews have gone live for Lies of P, and right now it is sitting at an 82 on Metacritic, at least for the PS5 version. And, yeah, you know, I'm really looking forward to this game. I love Souls-born games, Souls-like games, whatever. And this one, I haven't played the demo, right? Because they put out that demo. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play it. I was just kind of waiting till the full game comes out because it'll be coming to the Game Pass day one. So it's like, it's one of those things like, I got nothing to lose. I'll just wait till the full game comes out. I've heard amazing things. The game looks great. I'm super excited to try it for myself. And as soon as I get to, I'll definitely let you guys know my thoughts. It's coming out next week. And again, it's coming to Game Pass day one. So if you've been looking forward to this game, you'll be able to try it out there. Next up, Roblox is coming to more devices. Those including the Meta Quest, the Xbox Series, which at least it was labeled as coming to the Xbox Series on their site. I'm not really sure because obviously Xbox Series is backwards compatible with Xbox One. Maybe this is more or less just like a native Series version, but anyway, that was listed there. And then also PS4 and PS5 for the very first time. Surprisingly, Roblox, as huge as the game is, it hasn't been released on PlayStation before, even though it's been on Xbox for years at this point. Again, it'll be coming to the PS4 and the PS5, so yeah, we can look forward to that. That'll be coming out next month in October. Next up, just a quick thing I wanted to highlight. A couple of weeks ago, we had talked about how obviously Charles Martinet will not be voicing Mario anymore, unfortunately, or any of the other characters. However, Shigeru Miyamoto and Charles Martinet ended up posting up that video of them together just kind of talking about their history working together and the future and, you know, the whole Mario Ambassador thing that Charles Martinet will be taking on now. And, you know, it was a very nice, very wholesome video. Obviously, one of those videos where, you know, they were making it for the fans. It made me smile while I was watching it, and admittedly, I shed a few tears of joy. I'll definitely really miss Charles voicing Mario, but yeah, it's a very nice, very wholesome video. I highly recommend going to watch it if you haven't already. Next up, this is crazy, but Starfield had hit 1 million concurrent players. This coming from Phil Spencer on Twitter, quote, Starfield exceeded 1 million concurrent players across all platforms today, thanks to all the players who helped us reach this great milestone, and congrats to Bethesda Studios. That is just insane. And while we're talking about Starfield, oh man, this news is pretty exciting, but Starfield mods are confirmed to be coming next year. This coming from PC Games and, quote, in response to a Famitsu question about modding in Starfield, which is already well underway within the community, like if you're on PC, you can already get access to Starfield mods. This is more or less just talking about official support, like in-game support on console and PC, sort of like what we saw in the past with like Fallout and such. Howard says that official Bethesda support is coming next year. Quote, when the mods are ready, you will be able to do almost anything as we have done in the past, and the mods will be supported next year. But we will do it in a big way because we love it too, end quote. So yeah, again, I'm looking forward to that. Like, I put so many hours into just like tinkering around with mods on Fallout 4, so yeah, I foresee the same thing happening with Starfield. Next up, this one is just insane, but the iPhone 15 Pro was announced, and it's gonna be running next gen console games. So, they did one of their Apple showcases just showing off some new stuff, and the iPhone 15 Pro was one of those things. Now, first off, let's get the price out of the way. This would be starting at $1,000, and the price only goes up from there depending on, like, what storage model you get. And yeah, this thing will apparently be able to run next-gen games such as RE4 Remake, RE Village, Death Stranding, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and more. I saw, like, screenshots and gameplay of The Division in there. Like, this is insane. So there's going to be support for touchscreen control. So it'll be interesting to see how these games play with the touchscreen controls. Like, I'm not sure if this is going to be one of those things where there's going to be like one control scheme that's universal for all of these games, where it's just like a default layout. Say, you know, when you download like PPSSPP, the emulator on an Android phone, you have that one control layout on the touchscreen. I don't know if it's just going to be one layout or if it's going to be customized on a per game basis and then put up onto the App Store. They might have talked about that. I'm not sure though, because I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch the entire event. I just kind of, you know, picked up some of the cliff notes. That being said, said, it'll be interesting to see how something like RE4 Remake plays with touch controls, for example, or Assassin's Creed Mirage. But it will also have controller support, so, you know, your DualSense, your Series controllers, whatever, all of those will also work, which, yeah, honestly, I would probably take it a step further, and I would recommend getting something like a Razer Kishi V2 if you're trying to get serious into mobile gaming. Well, not necessarily just mobile gaming, but playing console-level games on your phone. But this has me really curious, because obviously there is leaks and rumors all over the internet right now about the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2, or what we believe to be a Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not really sure where I fall on the side of the fence there, you know, I'm just like, you know, I'm here, whatever they announce is whatever they announce. It might be a Switch 2, it might not be, who knows how long it'll be until it's announced. But this has me wondering, what is that scene going to look like? Because obviously Switch is like a 2-in-1 console and portable machine. But now you have all these devices coming out, right? Like ROG Ally, and apparently Lenovo's doing a thing, the Steam Deck, and now the iPhone. All of these are mobile devices capable of running next-generation games and tech, arguably better than something like the Nintendo Switch, or maybe even the Switch 2 would be able to run it. Obviously, it's coming in at a higher price point, so obviously Nintendo has a bit of leverage there because they always price their things a bit lower to make it more accessible to the average consumer and families and such. So, you know, I'm not saying that Nintendo is necessarily in danger in terms of their market share and how many people actually buy their products, because again, they price their things so low compared to something like a Steam Deck or an ROG Ally or an iPhone, which is, you know, upwards of 4 digits. But it really has me wondering what the future is going to look like once these things become a bit more accessible and a bit cheaper, once, you know, the technology just becomes a bit more abundant. What is the competition there in the mobile portable gaming scene going to look like? Is that when Nintendo will just move away from that space? Maybe they'll move on to something else. Maybe they'll improve their own technology and still keep it at that lower price point. I'm not sure, but I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. What do you think the future holds for like mobile and portable gaming? Because the one thing that Switch does have a leverage upon these other things is that not only is it being marketed as a portable console, but it's also a, you know, like a docked console, like a home console, a typical home console. It's like a 2-in-1 type of thing, whereas the other ones are typically more geared towards just being like a handheld. But then again, there is things like the Steam Deck where there is a dock that's actually available for it to where you can plug it into the TV. So I'm not sure. I'm interested to see what the future holds for these devices. And again, I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this. And for our next story, Steam is officially 20 years old, and they put up a whole poster celebrating their 20th anniversary. Man, this makes me feel old. I've been there since the dawn of Steam. I've seen it grow into what it is. It's just, oh man, makes me feel old. Anyway, let's just go ahead and read this blog post. Quote, Valve launched Steam on September 12, 2003, and we're super proud and incredibly grateful for what we've been able to do in the 20 years since. Steam's success is a direct result of the players and developers around the world who use it. We thought it would be fun to look back at the top releases on Steam each year, many of which are on sale as part of the celebration, including all Valve titles. And oh yeah, that's one thing worth noting. There are so many Valve games on sale right now, like Portal 1 and 2, each are $1. Half-Life 1 and 2, those are $1. The Orange Box is like $2 right now, so highly recommend picking those up. Amazing games. And added some fun facts for both Steam and pop culture in general, in art or text form or both, but like give us the same leeway you might with an aging grandparent. The dates and facts below are as correct as our collectively aging memories will allow. Man, we're old. Anyway, if reading a novel it wasn't what you had in mind during your free time, feel free to use the years menu to jump around to one that interests you, and at least scroll to the end. We might have something in there that directs you to free stuff, end quote. And then after that, they have like a bunch of tabs that like breaks it up, so you can just go straight to like whatever year you want to go to. So say you want to see what happened to Valve in 2005, you just click on a tab, go there. But yeah, I just thought this was cool, you know, I wanted to highlight it. You know, it's huge. I mean, Steam is like the leading PC game launcher shop, whatever you want to call it, on PC. And furthermore, they're behind some of the most like, you know, revolutionary games of all time, and Steam is the only place you can get certain games like CSGO, TF2, Half-Life, Portal, etc. Well, you know, outside of console releases. I'm talking on PC though, so yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. And yeah, man, makes me feel old. Next up, Unity screwed over every single indie developer, including myself. So, you know, in most stories when it comes to, like, development type things, I'm usually kind of just, like, talking about it from a third-person perspective, but this is one where I can actually say this does affect me. So I'm actually quite... okay, I'm just gonna contain my emotions for a second. Let's just go ahead and read through this. This coming from Game Developer. Quote, starting in January 2024, the company will begin charging what it's calling a Unity runtime fee that is based on the number of users installing games built on the widely used engine. And just keep in mind, this is a free engine that most indie developers start with. The runtime fee will kick in after developers cross specific revenue and install thresholds that scale with different subscription plans. For those on Unity Personal, like myself, or Unity Plus licenses, the fee will kick in after a project project crosses both 200,000 in revenue over 12 months and 200,000 total installs. Something I'd like to note real quick before we keep going, 200,000 installs. Just think about Game Pass and PS Plus Extra. That's all I'm going to say on it for now. Let's keep going. Yeah. I'm sure it's clicking for a lot of you now why this is such a big deal. Developers operating on the Unity Pro or Unity Enterprise licenses will be granted a higher threshold before they begin owing fees. For those devs, the charge will kick in after a title earns 1 million over that same 12-month period and passes 1 million installs. According to a breakdown sent to game developer by Unity, fees will be charged on a monthly basis. The amount charged per install will also vary depending on the license. Unity Personal and Plus developers will pay a flat fee of 20 cents per install. Pro and Enterprise users will pay a smaller per install fee that scales downward with the number of installations over the initial threshold. Pro user fees will begin at 15 cents per install and scale downward to as low as 2 cents per install, while Enterprise user fees will begin at 12.5 cents per install and scale down to as low as 1 cent per install. And then when we scroll down a little bit, they talk about how free-to-play games are going to work because, there's a lot of free-to-play Unity games out there. Cough, cough. Genshin Impact? Like, the biggest free-to-play game in the world, built on the Unity engine. Anyway, developers of free-to-play games, which have a much higher install rate than premium titles, will have the option to offset this fee. So this isn't something that's by default. Oh my gosh. Anyway, by adopting other Unity services, such as its level play advertising mediation service. So it's not even like you don't, like, oh my gosh. Okay, so even if you're making a free-to-play game, it's not one of those things where by default this fee doesn't apply to you. It's only if you use their level play advertising mediation service. So, oh gosh. Unfortunately, we have a bit more to read yet, so they ended up posting up a Q&A, and there's like a bunch of questions and answers over there. And if you're a game developer, or if you're, thinking about getting into it, especially if you're an indie developer, I highly recommend going and reading through that Q&A. A lot of important information there, but the one thing I wanted to highlight was this question right here where it says, question, isn't this a huge impact on indies? And their answer was, this price increase does not impact the majority of our customers. In fact, based on internal data, more than 90% of our customers will not be affected by this change, end quote. And ooh, I always keep it clean on the show. I almost slipped up and cursed, but that's BS. I could go on a whole emotional tangent and rant, but we have a lot to go through in the show yet, so I'm just going to compose myself, and I'm just going to say this. I am an indie developer. I have been working on multiple projects by myself. There have been 3 projects that I've been working on in Unity and 1 in Unreal Engine. And after this news, I am announcing that I will be moving all of my projects over to Unreal Engine, if not, because now I don't even know what engines I can trust. So I may potentially just try to work to create my own engine for these 4 games to run off of. And the 4 games that I'm working on, it's one of those things where I had 4 very unique ideas. So instead of trying to implement it all into one game, I'm just making 4 little offshoot games whenever I get some inspiration, just really taking my time with it. But anyway, for 3 of those games, like I was saying, I have been doing work on them on Unity. And I was planning to release most of them as a free project. One of them I was going to do a paid thing, but it was going to be like a 99-cent game or whatever. Just because there was a lot more work going into that one where I feel like, yeah, it would probably be a good idea to at least try to monetize this one in some way. But now, if I do that, I'm going to owe them like what? Once I meet that threshold, 20 cents, that's like a fifth of my total revenue, which already has to get split up and sent off to Steam or Epic Games or whatever. Why? Not that my game would make it onto Epic Games because, they're really strict about what they let on over there. But say Steam, for example. Steam would take a cut. I would get my very tiny cut, and then Unity gets like a fifth of that as well. So it's like, why? Like, I don't understand this, dude. This is so stupid. Like, what are they doing? Like I said, I might switch to Unreal, but at this point, do I really want to port 3 Unity games, like all of that code and assets and animations and everything over to Unreal Engine? Will things work the way they're supposed to? I don't know. At this point, I think I might just take a little extra time and, just make my own engine. It would take a really long time, and I guess that's the only way I can be assured that my game won't be affected, or my games, plural, won't be affected by something like this in the future. So, yeah, this is stupid. Let's hope that they backtrack this immediately. Next up, we got the September PS Plus Extra and Premium games, and this month is looking pretty solid. So first up, let's go over the Extra. Near Replicant, Star Ocean The Divine Force, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, amazing game by the way, Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, Unpacking, Odin Sphere Liftthresser, how are you supposed to say that? Planet Coaster Console Edition, This War of Mine Final Cut, another great game, Cloudpunk, Contra Rogue Corps, yes, Tales Noir, Call of the Sea, West of Dead, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness, Paw Patrol the movie, Adventure City Calls, and then that's it for the extra tier. Then in the premium tier, hope you guys like Star Ocean, because we have Star Ocean First Departure R, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Star Ocean The Last Hope, and Dragon's Crown Pro. Honestly, that is a solid lineup for the premium tier. I know some people were hoping there would be more PS4 game, or PS2 games, I mean, or something else older, but honestly, I love Star Ocean. There's a lot of Star Ocean in this lineup, and honestly, I'm ready for it. One thing I wanted to go over real quick is that the State of Play, by the time you guys are seeing this, actually happened yesterday. However, that is happening, so I'm recording this early in Thursday afternoon, and the State of Play actually hasn't happened yet at the time I'm recording this. So we're going to go ahead and do a recap of that next episode. And for our last story, or kind of story, I don't know, for the last thing for today, the Nintendo Direct happened earlier this morning at the time I'm recording this, and I wrote down literally everything that made an appearance there. We're not going to be going too in depth. I'll just be kind of like saying the names of the games that appeared there, and then if you want to do more research, feel free to do that. Splatoon 3 Expansion Pass Wave 2 Side Order, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, Horizon Chase 2, Super Crazy Rhythm Castle, Spy X Anya, Super Mario RPG, Another Code Recollection, Princess Peach Showtime, Saga Emerald Beyond, Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered, so excited for that, Detective Pikachu Returns, Trombone Champ. I definitely recommend looking into Trombone Champ. That game looks hilarious. Battle Crush, War Tales, Contra Operation Galuga, Unicorn Overlord, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. They also talked about the Nintendo Museum, which should be finished with construction by March 2024, which is pretty cool. It's going to be like a museum full of just like Nintendo history and such. So yeah, that's definitely one that I'll be looking to visit at some point in the future. Then they showed off some more amiibo. F-Zero 99, which is the classic F-Zero from the SNES, but it's going to be like the other 99 games where it's like a battle royale type thing, like Tetris 99, for example, except, you know, F-Zero. It actually looks pretty fun. Bandotel, a League of Legends story. Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. WarioWare Move It. Yuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Eastward Octopia, which is a DLC. Wargroove 2. Dave the Diver. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Cores, they're releasing like the final DLC or whatever. Man, this game's been going for like almost 10 years at this point. The fact that they're still putting out DLC for it is insane. Among Us, The Fungal, and then a remake of Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door. That's how they closed out the show, and yeah, round of applause. Honestly, in my opinion, that was an amazing direct. You know, there was a lot of more like indie stuff. There was some like JRPG or just like, you know, more like Japanese RPG type stuff, like tactical RPGs and turn-based RPGs and such. And I'm a sucker for stuff like that. And then obviously got stuff like Luigi's Mansion 2 and Super Princess Peach, which was obviously already announced before, but, you know, just seeing it again was nice, getting new trailers and such. And then the Paper Mario remake, like, that is insane. So, yeah, definitely a great direct, and if anything that I mentioned interests you, definitely go ahead, and they have all the trailers over there on their YouTube page, so you can just go there, learn some more information about it. Yeah, great direct. But anyways, that is all the stories that I got for you guys this week. Now, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything we talked about, whether it's Unity and their new scummy practices, or the Nintendo Direct, or whatever else we talked about today. It's so much stuff, man. My brain's just absolute mush and jello now. But yeah, whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly GCap. New episodes go live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so if you want to catch them as soon as they go live, well, then I know when to be here. But anyways, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.